Welcome to the School of Law. Let me first of all introduce myself. I'm Dr. Philip Elliott-Wright. I'm the Deputy Head of the School of Law at the University of West London, and hopefully I'll be taking you through a number of the key reasons why we believe that the School of Law, and particularly the undergraduate law degree, is without doubt one of the best experiences that any student could have. So let me, without more anon, take you through our presentation. So firstly, as you can see, the university as itself has had an extremely successful number of years. In the last 4 or 5 years, we've become undoubtedly one of the top modern universities in London. Equally, the School of Law has been moving rapidly up the league tables. These are the way things are measured these days, and both in terms of student satisfaction. Our School of Law at the University of West London is one of the highest ranked, and we are consistently scoring well in every type of review and league table that there is that one can access. Also, please note that over 98% of our graduates go on to employment. Obviously, many of the law graduates start by going on to the vocational courses that are required to qualify as a lawyer. I'll be saying a little bit more about that anon. Also, you'll notice that university got silver in the teaching recognition, and the university itself has been spending over 150 million over the last few years, making the facilities at the University of West London obviously at the School of Law some of the best that one can enjoy. Now, here, as you can see, just a few of the images of Ealing and the university itself. Obviously, one of the attractions of the School of Law at the university is that being in Ealing, we are at the heart of law, as it were, in the United Kingdom. We have easy access to central London, the law courts, and obviously it enables us to be interactive with many of the local law firms that operate. There's excellent transport links both in and out of Ealing, and thus coming into the university poses very few problems. Now, the School of Law itself, we've been going now for nearly 50 years. We're extremely well established. As can be seen from the presentation, we design our law degrees around a future career in the law. We are very proud, both as a university and as the School of Law, that we are career orientated. Thus, from day one, both in terms of the actual teaching, which is predominantly done by practitioners, either people, lecturers, lawyers who previously practiced in law, and one or two who are still practicing in law. So not only is the course itself career orientated, you are being taught by lecturers who themselves have worked as lawyers, whether as solicitors or as barristers, within the profession that you would hopefully be wishing to join. Also, we have alumni. Many of our students over the last 50 years, some mostly more recently than that, but certainly over the years, have gone on to extremely successful careers. So many of the alumni come in who are now successful practicing solicitors, barristers, even 1 or 2 judges, to be able to talk to the students and also actually deliver some of the sessions to make sure that students are able to fully appreciate and have the advantage of contact with practitioners as they now operate. Also, the university has an extremely effective virtual learning platform known as Blackboard. This means that all lectures, all learning materials are available to students 24/7 anywhere on planet Earth. So they can access lectures, PowerPoint slides, learning materials, and much, much more. All of the law texts are available as electronic copies in the library, along obviously with hard copies, so students can choose as best suits them how they wish to access our learning materials. As you can see from these pictures, although these are only a few images, they do give you a very good idea of the quality of the lecturing facilities that you would enjoy at the University of West London. Very modern and very comfortable. Now, we have a great variety of courses on offer. We have the standard 3-year degree. We are also, as I'll explain in a little bit, also able to offer the 4-year foundation degree, but I'll explain that in a little bit more depth later. As I've previously indicated, our lecturers have all been practitioners, and thus that ensures that we have very good contacts with the legal profession. And as it also mentions there, we have regular guest lectures given by practitioners, judges and other persons involved in the legal profession, so that students have the greatest opportunity to, as it were, get an insight into the profession that they're hoping to enter. Now, there is the range of courses. Obviously at the top there you've got the standard 3-year LLB honours. I'll be saying in a bit more depth about that in a few minutes. We also have the LLB honours with foundation. That is an extra year that is for students who, for whatever reason, unfortunately didn't quite make the entry requirements needed for the normal 3-year degree and need to join us for a year of preparation before transitioning to the 3-year programme. We are also here able to offer the legal practice course alongside the LLM legal practice. That is the vocational stage that anyone wishing to practice as a solicitor must take. And many of our graduates do go on to stay with us to do the 1-year law practice course, many choosing to top it up to a full LLM. We also do some LLMs in various areas. We do the LLM in International Business and Commercial Law, International Banking and Finance, and International Studies in Intellectual Property Law. Those are fairly vocational master's degrees. Those are normally taken by students after they've completed the vocational stage, and they're hopefully trying to develop specialisms for the career area in law that they're hoping to enter. So many of our students wish to go into commercial law, so for example they continue with us to do the LLM in business and commercial law. Obviously intellectual property law is a rapidly expanding area that's becoming increasingly popular. Equally, being in London, we have close links with many of the banking and finance institutions, and again many of our students find employment there and again choose to take that to enhance their skills level to ensure that their career progresses very well. And we also, I'm glad to say, have a number of PhD students. 2 just recently rewarded their PhDs in the law school and will be collecting their certificates this summer. Now, as you can see there, we always say on the degree that basically you are studying law to see how it functions in the real world. I'll be very honest with you, our degree is not research intensive. We are very much career orientated, preparing students for the world of work. So what can it give you? What can our LLB give you? Well, as it says there, employers are not just interested in the most academically able. They're not just looking for who got a first-class honours degree, which university did you go for. Today they're looking for a much wider range of skills. They want students with additional qualities: professional responsibility, problem solving, commercial awareness, dedication, flexibility, IT skills, and much more. I'll be talking about that as well in a little while in a little bit more depth. We also have a member of staff who is dedicated to enabling students to find opportunities to experience the world of work, either through placements or various job opportunity schemes. Most of our graduates have the opportunity to apply for 2, 3, 4-week placements during the degree, particularly in the 2nd and 3rd year. And again, for some of our LPC students are able to find placements at local law firms. Also, we bring in many members of the profession, as I've mentioned, and it's an opportunity for students to network, gain contacts, hopefully possibly line up their next career opportunity. We also at the end offer students in the third year the opportunity to participate in something called NALP. It stands for National Association of Licensed Paralegals, and if students in the third year of their LLB take particular modules, I'll be mentioning the opportunities students have for that, but take particular modules at level 6, that's the third year of the degree, then they automatically become a fellow of the National Association of Licensed Paralegals, which is a vocational practicing award. So students can be going into the job market already with a recognised paralegal qualification, which obviously in today's world is very advantageous. Now, most students join us either with a plan to become a solicitor or a barrister. I would say that most of our graduates do go into the solicitor's stream. Basically, although in the past the two branches of the legal profession were very separate, today they are merging far more. So we ensure that as we prepare students, even if they're planning to become solicitors, they will gain practice as well, being able to present in court. We have a mock courtroom where students are throughout the degree able to experience the atmosphere of a court. We bring in real judges, real barristers, real solicitors for various transactional workshops so that students can actually take part in mock trials and similar legal activities to give them a true feel of what the practice would be, and hopefully decide, do I want to be a solicitor, would I be better off as a barrister, and to get insights into both sides of the profession. Obviously, we have close links with high street firms, particularly working in family law, divorce, unfortunately, a very good area of business constantly, representing the accused in criminal matters, employment law, and much more besides. Particularly for solicitors. Solicitors, particularly locally in West London, do tend to do a lot of that work. Also housing work and that sort of area. So, as I've previously indicated, legal practice is not just about academic ability, it is about much more besides. And what I've put on the screen there is many of the key skills that any practicing lawyer, whether a solicitor or barrister, requires, and we embed these into all levels of the degree. So whether it's as a first year studying criminal law or contract law, a second year doing land law, or a third year doing any one of the 14 options that you can choose from, then these elements are built into all of them, ensuring that students have commercial awareness, ensuring that we're explaining to students and giving them the skills that they will need of flexibility, being able to demonstrate to an employer that they are capable of hard and focused work, that they have the ability to deal with an unpredictable workload. In law, there is much that is unpredictable. If you practice as a barrister, for example, you have no idea what brief, what case might be coming to you, which case you may have to prepare for. You may well find you only have a day or two to prepare for a particular appearance in court, and thus our degree tries to ensure that students are ready for that sort of experience and have the skills that they need to be able to deliver and obviously function as a highly effective and successful lawyer. So, how would the degree unfold? Well, first of all, I did mention that we do a foundation degree. That's for students who unfortunately haven't quite met the number of academic credits they need to join the 3-year programme. And so if you do join us for the foundation year, then basically we cover the areas that you will need to prepare to do the degree the following year. So obviously an introduction to law and order, introduction to liabilities about contract law. You'll do mooting, obviously very important. You'll get your first experience of appearing in our mock courtroom. And understanding justice obviously speaks for itself, predominantly about criminal law. In the first full year of the law degree, we do those 4 modules. Those 4 modules run right through the year. That's constitutional and administrative law, contract law, criminal law, and the English legal system. I should have mentioned that our law degree is a qualifying law degree. What does that mean? Well, all law degrees, all LLB law degrees in England and Wales are regulated by the Solicitors Regulatory Authority. They validate our degree, and they, by validating it, set down elements that all law degrees must meet. They're known as the 7 foundations of law. And of those 7 foundations, 3 are there: constitutional, contract and criminal law. We are also have to cover English legal system, again speaks for itself. You would find that any LLB in England and Wales broadly covers these areas in their first year. Moving on to your second year, you'd still be sticking with what are known as the foundations of law as required by the SRA for a qualifying law degree. So equity and trusts, European Union law, yes, we've still got European Union law despite Brexit. That may change in a year or 2, but any student joining the degree in September 2020 would still be undertaking European Union law. Even with Britain leaving the European Union as a member, obviously Europe remains one of our closest markets, and thus there's a lot of legal work involved with the EU. Thus it's still important that students are able to understand how the legal system of the European Union functions. And then land law, obviously that's English land law, and something called tort, that's basically the law of negligence, and those are again the remaining foundations of law that are required. Now, assuming that students have successfully passed year 1 and year 2, they move on to year 3. Now students are able to make a selection from these option modules as to what they would wish to study in the 3rd and final year. Students choose 3 from either column. So students would choose 3 from the first semester, 3 from the second semester, so that basically you would be doing 3 modules per semester, and students focus on that depending on career intentions. Possibly they want to get the NALP qualification I mentioned earlier, but obviously you'd talk with the module leaders, you'd talk with members of staff to ensure that you were making the correct choices. What are the forms of assessment? I get a lot of questions from potential applicants about assessment. Well, let me stress that for the first year, that's level 4, that's the first year of study where you do English legal system, contract law, criminal law and constitutional and administrative law, there are no exams. Students seem to be very concerned about that. In the first year, thus, your assessments would take various other forms: essays, multiple choice questions, presentations, portfolios, and much more besides. Obviously, though, as you move into the second year, that's when you're doing equity, that's when you're doing tort, land, and European Union law. Although that's still predominantly extended essays, portfolios, presentations, multiple choice, short answer questions, there will now be some exams. There's an exam in European Union law and there's an exam in land law. That is necessary because for students going on to do the vocational stage, that's the law practice course later, exams are a requirement. So obviously it's important we begin to introduce students in the second year to the skills needed and the challenges needed to do exams. And then in the third year of the degree, you would find that there are far more exams involved. There's still extended coursework, there's still portfolio work, but most students will find that they have 3 or 4 exams to do for the options in the third year. So those are the forms of assessment that are done. We also do our best to schedule assessments so that there is no overlap between assessments, so students are able to concentrate on assessments as they roll out, so that they're not finding they've got to, for example, do a land law assessment and a tort assessment at the same time. Obviously at the end of each module though there is a series of terminal assessments, as there would be on any course. Now, accommodation. Many students will be wishing to be able to stay away from home, and thus we have halls of residence down at Brentford in Paragon, and this is an image of them, and all students in joining us for their first year are guaranteed the opportunity, if they wish, for accommodation down at Paragon. Having said that, many students choose to continue living at home. Many students come from the West London area, and obviously with the transport links I mentioned before, they have no problem getting in. By the way, if you wonder about the accommodation down at Brentford, the law school is at the St Mary's site in Ealing, but I can assure you there's a free bus shuttle running between the halls of residence and the Paragon site at Brentford up to St Mary's Road. It's only a 10-15 minute bus journey. It's free to students, and it runs every 20 minutes throughout the day and into the early evening. So there's no problem getting back and forth. It's very straightforward. What are some of the tips? So trips. What are some of the trips? Well, one of the other things we do is we organise trips abroad to various centres linked to some of the modules that you do. This year we had students go to The Hague in Holland to visit the International Criminal Court and the International Criminal Justice Court of Justice. We've also had trips to the War Crimes Court in Nuremberg, to Krakow to visit, sadly, Auschwitz, because many of the students obviously take human rights and other related modules. Also to the Holocaust Centre in Berlin. By the way, if you're wondering how it's afforded, we are able to assist students with the cost of these trips, and many students are funded by the university to join us on the trips to these places. Here's an image of the students at The Hague this year. That's the International Criminal Court, and there, as you can see, is a range of our students who went over in late 2019 and enjoyed their trip there. We are also able to provide scholarships for students on application. Again, the university website contains those. We also have awards and prizes for the best students at the end of each year. So there are law school bursaries, there's the Mike Molyneux bursary for postgraduate students, and various other awards, and so that students who perform very well over the course of the degree, whether it's in the first year, second year, or at the end of the degree, are awarded these prizes, obviously on merit. One thing I should have mentioned before, and I actually missed out when talking, is the timetable. This is something else that applicants often ask me about, the timetable. All level 4 classes run on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Fridays, 10 till 1 or 2, and obviously that's to enable students to travel in without it being too early, but still to be able to get home not too late in the afternoon. For the second year, classes run 12 till 3. Obviously in the third year, it depends which option you choose. The options run, so again, none of them overlap, but there is obviously some variation there. So thank you very much. I hope this has been informative, and I hope you decide that you'll come and join us at the School of Law at the University of West London. Thank you.